Hello everyone. My two most recent books, as of now, at this point in time, October 2023. We have The Simulator first, followed very closely by The Soul Net. They're both connected. That's why one came very soon after the other. And they both connect because they share the same theme. And what is that theme? Well, that theme is very simply based on the phrase, as above, so below. As below, so above. We're all familiar with it. It runs through all the Nag Hammadi Gospels. It runs through the canonical Gospels. It runs through all the ancient texts. As above, so below. And we don't really think about that very much. So let's delve into that deeper and see what it really means. Let's take the below bit first of all. That's us here, by the way, on planet Earth in the third dimension. And when we think of as below, third dimension, us, planet Earth, what do we think of? Yes, 95% of the people here are kind and caring and compassionate and loving. 95%. But then what about the other 5%? The other 5% is not like that. The other 5% are full of hatred and violence and war. Here we have the warmongers, the ones who lust for power and control, who are full of corruption, deceit and lies. So that's part of our below here. So if that's part of our below, where we have 5% of the negative forces in a battle more or less to control the 95% of the higher forces amongst us. If that's what is below, then should we not be questioning what do we expect with the as above? In the as above, is there also this conflict going on between the minority of negative forces and the majority of the higher, lighter forces? Is that going on as above, as it is below? And if it is, who is involved? Are we involved? So these two most recent books, the first one, The Simulator, I am asking the question, are we living in a simulation? And the answer, yes, we most probably are. But the main question is, who is simulating us? Who is programming us? Who is controlling us? Can we get out of this vortex we're stuck in? How do we get out? Or as in Plato's allegory, the cave, do we actually want to get out? Or are we like the prisoners in the cave? This is the only reality they've known and they're quite happy there and they don't want to get out. They're quite happy to stay there. So is this what's happening to us? Are we quite happy to stay in this third dimension energy vibration because we don't know anything else? The Soul Net follows on from that book. What is this about? Well, there is no doubt about it. We live in a predatory world. Every form of life digests and ingests and consumes some other form of life in order to sustain its own life. And the survival instinct is the strongest instinct all forms of life have. So yes, we live in a predatory world. So again, as above, so below. As below, so above. If this is a predatory world, are the otherworldly energies also predatory? So again, we need to ask, is there some sort of trap, of soul net, waiting to capture us at the point of physical death? Are we a trawling ground for some other sort of otherworldly parasites who consume and need our energy in order to survive? Just like the video Monsters Inc., where the monsters in the film frighten and scare the children because they need the negative energy the frightened children throw off. They need that to, as fuel to supply the energy to keep their city going. Their electricity, if you like, their fuel, their form of energy. But Monsters Inc. has got a happy ending, because the monsters begin to realise that if they made the children laugh, then there'd be more powerful energy coming from the laughter than there would be from the fear. But is there the same possible ending for us? Well, that's a good question. Are we caught in the trap of reincarnation? And if we are, how do we get out of that trap? How do we avoid, if there is such a thing as a soul net, how do we avoid that? And surely, is it not better for us to be aware that such a soul net might exist? And if we are aware of it possibly may be in existence, if we know how to circumnavigate our way around it, or how to avoid it altogether, is that not better than passing over in total ignorance and being caught in the trap? You know, whoever said ignorance is bliss, I don't think they got the whole picture there. I certainly don't think that it would be bliss if you fell into a trap because of our ignorance. And yes, we can circumnavigate or avoid that, because the trap that we're caught in is a consciousness level trap. We're caught in the trap of this third dimension. We don't seem to be able to get ourselves out of it. We're going round and round and round, as in a vortex. Like in a washing machine, we're spinning round and round and round. How do we get out? And the answer is, we get ourselves above the third dimension level. We get into the fifth dimension level of energy. And to access that fifth dimension level of energy, we need to activate our third eye. That's the key, that's the secret. When we do that, we've cracked the code of avoiding any possible net or any possible trap that is there trying to catch us at any particular time. And when we come to pass over, it is too late then at that point to try and activate this. We have got to have this activated now before we actually pass over. So we've got to start practicing, getting this third eye open and seeing what is really there, rather than going by what we see with these two here, which is very, very limited. Keeping these two here and going by what we see here, that is what's keeping us in the third dimension level of energy. And as long as we stay in the third dimension level of energy, we are never going to be able to circumnavigate or get our way out of any trap that might be laid for us. So opening third eye, that is the key to avoiding any trap that might be there. So my two new books, Simulator and The Soul Net, they're now on Amazon and in all the usual outlets. So thank you for watching, and until we meet again, namaste.